Did you know the Bible mentions money, possessions, and stewardship over 2,000 times? That's more than it talks about prayer or heaven. Why? Because how you manage money reveals what truly rules your heart. Today, I'll share 12 Christian financial disciplines that can completely transform your mindset, your habits, and your future. These are not quick hacks. They are time-tested biblical disciplines that shape both your wealth and your faith. Let's begin. Discipline 1. Master self-control before you master money. Proverbs 25:28 says, "Like a city whose walls are broken through is a person who lacks self-control." In biblical times, a city without walls was defenseless, vulnerable to every enemy. Likewise, a person without self-control is open to financial attack from impulse spending, emotional buying, and debt traps. Self-control is the first wall you must build around your finances. It's the discipline to say no to instant pleasure so you can say yes to long-term peace. The world teaches you deserve it now. The Bible teaches count the cost first. Start by setting clear boundaries. No major spending without 24-hour reflection. No debt for temporary comfort. No purchases that violate peace in your spirit. Financial freedom begins not with more income, but with controlled desires. The stronger your self-control, the stronger your financial fortress. Discipline 2. Keep God at the center of every financial decision. Proverbs 3:6 says, "In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make your paths straight." When you invite God into your financial life, you invite clarity, not confusion. Before Joseph interpreted Pharaoh's dream, he sought divine wisdom. That single act of obedience saved an entire nation from famine. Likewise, your prayerful decisions can save your future from unnecessary loss. Before investing, ask, does this align with God's values? Would I still be at peace if this plan fails? Am I trusting in profit or in God's provision? Prayer turns confusion into confidence. When God is at the center, even setbacks become redirections. He won't just bless your outcomes, He'll protect your process. Discipline 3. Live below your means, not below your calling. 1 Timothy 6:6 says, "Godliness with contentment is great gain." Living below your means is not fear, it's wisdom. It's about making space between what you earn and what you spend, so you can live freely and give generously. In Egypt, Joseph didn't store grain because he was scared. He did it because he was wise. Likewise, living below your means doesn't mean you lack faith. It means you're preparing for purpose. Practical ways to apply this discipline. Cap lifestyle inflation. When your income rises, don't let expenses chase it. Differentiate wants from needs. Most financial stress comes from confusing the two. Build a margin fund that lets you give when God prompts you to. Your calling is bigger than your consumption. When you spend less than you earn, you make room for generosity and purpose. Discipline 4. Budget as an act of worship. Luke 14:28 reminds us, suppose one of you wants to build a tower, won't you first sit down and estimate the cost? Budgeting is not boring, it's biblical. It's how you bring order to what God has entrusted to you. A Christian budget is not just numbers, it's values in action. Every line represents a priority: your giving, your family, your future, your ministry. When you budget with prayer, your spending becomes worship, not waste. Tips for a biblical budget. Tithe first, because God deserves the first portion, not the leftovers. Save second, because foresight honors His wisdom. Spend third, because order creates blessing. Without a plan, your money will serve chaos. With one, it serves the kingdom. Discipline 5. Give first, not last. Proverbs 3:9-10 says, "Honor the Lord with your wealth, with the first fruits of all your crops, then your barns will be filled to overflowing." Giving first is a statement of faith. It says, "God, I trust you with the beginning, not just the end." When Elijah met the widow of Zarephath, she had almost nothing left, just a handful of flour and oil. Yet when she gave first, her jar never ran dry. God doesn't bless the amount, He blesses the order. Giving disciplines your heart to depend on God, not on wealth. It breaks greed, teaches gratitude, and opens the door to provision. Every act of generosity declares that you are a channel, not a reservoir. Make giving your first reflex, not your last resort. Discipline 6. Keep records because God honors order. 1 Corinthians 14:40 says, "Let all things be done decently and in order." Financial disorder is a spiritual issue. It reflects a lack of stewardship. When Nehemiah rebuilt the wall, every resource, every tool, every worker was accounted for. That record-keeping brought unity and success. Likewise, your financial order brings clarity and peace. Track your income, your expenses, and your progress. It's not about control, it's about awareness. God multiplies what you monitor. When you can account for the little, He can trust you with much. Discipline 7. Avoid the comparison trap. Galatians 6:4 teaches, each one should test their own actions, then they can take pride in themselves alone. Comparison poisons contentment. It drives people into unnecessary debt and endless dissatisfaction. The Israelites complained when they saw what other nations had: kings, armies, wealth, but chasing imitation cost them peace. Financial discipline means keeping your eyes on your own assignment. Someone else's blessing doesn't mean your delay, it means your time will come. Instead of scrolling and envying, use that energy to grow, to plan, and to prepare. The discipline of focus keeps your faith firm and your finances free from pride. Discipline 8. Prepare for the future, not just the present. Proverbs 21:5 says, "The plans of the diligent lead to profit as surely as haste leads to poverty." Preparation is faith in action. In Genesis, Noah didn't wait for rain to start building. He built when everyone mocked him, and that obedience preserved his family. Likewise, saving, ensuring, and planning for tomorrow is obedience, not fear. Practical application. Create an emergency fund equal to 3-6 months of living expenses. Plan for retirement because faith includes foresight. Set goals for giving, not just gaining. Preparation honors God's wisdom and protects your purpose. Discipline 9. Be teachable about money. Proverbs 19:20 says, "Listen to advice and accept discipline, and at the end you will be counted among the wise." Financial humility means admitting you don't know everything. Even Solomon, the wisest man in history, continued to seek counsel. The moment you stop learning, you start losing. Be teachable, read books, seek mentors, listen to those who manage money biblically. Don't confuse pride with confidence. Humility invites growth. When you're teachable, God can correct your path before it becomes costly. The unteachable heart blocks blessings that the humble receive easily. Discipline 10. Build integrity into every transaction. Proverbs 10:9 says, "Whoever walks in integrity walks securely." Your reputation is wealth that never depreciates. In the book of Daniel, the prophet was offered power and riches, yet he refused to compromise his values. God rewarded him with influence greater than gold. Financial discipline means refusing shortcuts, no shady deals, no dishonest gains. You may lose short-term profits, but you gain eternal credibility. Integrity sustains what talent begins. A dishonest success is just a delayed downfall. When God can trust your character, He can enlarge your territory. Discipline 11. Rest and trust in God's provision. Psalm 127:2 says, "In vain you rise early and stay up late, toiling for food to eat, for He grants sleep to those He loves." Rest is a financial discipline because it resets your faith. Many work tirelessly, thinking more effort equals more blessing, but peace doesn't come from hustle, it comes from trust. The Sabbath was designed to teach us dependence. When Israel rested, their manna still came. When they hoarded, it spoiled. God was teaching that success flows from obedience, not anxiety. If you've done your part, worked, planned, and prayed, learn to rest. God works while you rest in faith. Discipline 12. Use money to build the kingdom, not just comfort. Matthew 6:33 says, "Seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things will be added to you." Wealth without purpose leads to emptiness. But when your money builds God's kingdom, supports missions, feeds the poor, funds change, it gains eternal value. Abraham was blessed so he could bless nations. Every dollar you steward carries the potential to change lives. Ask yourself, Is my money serving my comfort or God's calling? True success is when your financial legacy outlives your lifetime. Make your wealth echo in eternity. These 12 Christian financial disciplines are not just ideas, they're habits that shape your destiny. They turn money from a master into a servant and fear into freedom. God doesn't want you trapped by debt or driven by greed. He wants you anchored in peace, purpose, and provision. Apply these disciplines daily, and your life, not just your wallet, will begin to overflow. If this message blessed you, subscribe to the Biblical Finances channel and share which disciplines spoke most to your heart. Let's grow in faith, wisdom, and financial freedom together.